I'm so excited to finally get to share this news out loud to everyone, to all of you. Oh my goodness, it has been so very hard to stay quiet. But I am now with Springfield Armory. For the last 19 and a half years, I've shared videos as captain of Team Smith Wesson and as a brand ambassador for the company, and it has been an absolute pleasure and honor to represent such an iconic brand. So why now? Why change? And what's next? If you're new to my channel, first, thank you for clicking on the video. I am a world champion, author, veteran, and pro shooter. A bit of my backstory: I shot my first match in 1991 and fell in love with competing in the shooting sports. Smith Wesson was my first firearms sponsor as a junior competitor back in the 90s, and I competed for the Army shooting team for many years, as well as representing Glock as one of their first full-time shooters before making the switch to Smith. So for more than 20 years of my life, I've been representing Big Blue. And gosh, what an opportunity. I have been able to work with so many wonderful people that I think the world of. And of course, the wonderful folks working the shifts in the factory, from those in Springfield, Massachusetts to now Maryville. Thank you so much for your everyday efforts. I have loved getting to meet so many of you over the years. Gosh, I mean, I'm so grateful. When I look at what I've been able to do, I've achieved so many of my goals as a competition shooter and someone who has worked in the firearms industry. And so much of how we share shooting has changed since when I first started, from how we learn about guns and gear, the evolution of print, television, YouTube, social media, podcasts. It's amazing, really, the growth in gun ownership and how we are able to connect together. It's so great to be a part of that. Of course, to eventually retire from representing such a huge player in the firearms industry. I mean, that's the dream job, right? I mean, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm gonna say it, change can feel scary and overwhelming. I mean, we all know this. It's especially tough when you've been tied to something, worked so hard, and established your name with something for so long. Yet, it's been there. Like this little tickle in the back of my mind, gosh, for over a year now. And those questions, what if? What if I could work with any company in this industry, and who? Sometimes God gives you a little push. At the beginning of the year, I had a big wake-up call, one of those experiences that makes you stop and evaluate everywhere you are in life. And that little tickle became more like a tap, tap, tap. And instead of just wondering, I seriously started to consider those questions. What if, who, and where? And at the top of that list is Springfield Armory, and for several reasons. First, let's talk guns. I love history. I am a geek about it, and I so appreciate how Springfield Armory embraces old school iconic designs of the past and the modern elements and innovation all at the same time. With their awesome lineup of 1911s, hello, I am such a 1911 girl, to now the Prodigy, the double stack 1911, and also guns like the SA-35 and the SA-16A2. The updated manufacture of these classics is something I really appreciate, and I think it is so awesome how they have made them accessible for everyday shooters of today, not just to own, but to actually enjoy. When I look at Springfield Armory's newest products like these, the designs are so thoughtful and user-focused, and they're usable. When the Hellcat came out on the scene, it turned heads with its increased capacity and reliability. I think of the Stir, the Echelon created at SHOT Show, specifically with the variable interface system, the VIS or VIS, for directly mounting optics nice and low on the slide. It was the buzz at SHOT, and it redefined what it truly means to be an optics-ready pistol. So these features, all these features and designs are focused and innovative, and a big part of that comes from the evaluation, experience, trigger time, and the feedback of one of the greatest shooters of all time, Rob Latham. When I think of the three people who have influenced me most as a shooter, there's my dad, of course, my husband, and Rob. My father is the one who took me to the range and introduced me to the shooting sports. He taught me the basics, and that's where the passion came from, right? My husband, also a shooter, he pushes me to be better in every way. His experience in law enforcement, concealed carry, competition, and instruction, they are invaluable to me. And then there's Rob. Rob Latham has earned the title T.G.O, the Great One, in the shooting sports for a reason. Yes, there are extremely accomplished shooters to look up to today, but I'm gonna say it on the record. Rob is the person who defined the role of champion pro shooter, and he's done that across so many competition divisions. He isn't just crazy talented. He didn't just put in decades of work. He has studied the art of shooting from every aspect, from speed to precision to the combination of those things. He's proven that title through his wildly decorated career, his knowledge, and his impact in research and development at Springfield. Yeah, Rob and his wife Kippy, another phenomenal shooter, have become friends of mine. They are people I've traveled around the US and internationally with. I am so grateful to know them, and every single time I speak with Rob, I learn something. He knows more about shooting than anyone, I'm gonna say that. And Rob, of course, has been tied to Springfield forever, for as long as I have known him, and as with all of the athletes and the influencers we look up to, we appreciate and respect the brands that support them. So that leads me to talk about Springfield Armory, a longtime supporter of the shooting sports and gun rights organizations. Obviously, Springfield is a major player in the firearms industry, but it has a very special quality that makes it different. It's a company built on the foundation of a hard-working American family with vision, and that value of good, hard work is part of the DNA, and I can relate to that and very much respect that. I've had the pleasure of meeting the owner, Mr. Dennis Reese, over the years. I admire his friendliness, leadership, and dedication to the employees and, of course, American values. I mean, here's this man who owns one of the biggest names in firearms, and he's just so friendly and just a true gun person, and that means a lot. Seeing what Springfield Armory has established, how they share products, and what it means to be someone who shoots, hunts, protects, and believes in the second, all of this is the result of a history of dedication and passion by the Reese family and by bringing together an all-star team. I've had the pleasure of working with Springfield Armory's president, their vice president, and director of marketing in the past. It is a highlight of my time in this industry. So to get the chance to work with them, it may be a bit of shop talk and industry talk here, but I have long time admired their ideas, their creativity, and most of all, their execution. I've seen it firsthand, and so I am absolutely thrilled to work with them again. It has been so hard not to shout out this big news. This new chapter is so exciting. The combination of leadership and that extra elbow grease that comes from passionate folks that make Springfield Armory more than just a brand. Oh gosh, it just feels so right. To have the chance to be a teammate with one of your heroes, represent a family-owned, American-owned company with an incredible leadership team, and to shoot more awesome, innovative firearms and classics. Yeah, right? As I said, I am just so grateful and I am so excited. I hope you'll continue to join me as I share Springfield Armory firearms, gear, shooting sports, and more. I have a pile of guns to try out. Yes. And I've also created a playlist for you if you'd like to see the firearms that I'm going to start with. I'll leave that linked below. I'd love to know what you would take to the range first. Drop it in the comments, that'd be great. As always, I appreciate you so much, and until the next one, be safe, have fun, and live your life fully loaded.